Hello everyone. So I just wanted to do a little video about Wes Streeting's comments when it comes to neurodiversity and mental health. And first of all, I was beside myself. I mean, ADHD has actually got included and recognised in something. Like normally, autists get treated about a million times better than us. And anytime we've got to disclose our disability, we've literally got to put other. You know what I mean? But it is actually categorised as a disability, and I do sometimes have to disclose that. The reason being is that I actually speak like this, so obviously this is unscripted, but like I can't really condense my words, and sometimes I unintentionally swear, and it's partly down to a thinner brain tissue, impulse control me brain's in, not as able to filter information as other people's. So at times I need reasonable adjustments because it makes a lot more sense to accept that might happen, that I put a lot of work into avoiding it, and basically just accepting that the world isn't always going to be the way you want it to be. Not everyone is you, not everyone is me. But when it comes to Wes Streeting's comments about neurodiversity, now I've got to let him off the hook a little bit here because I'll give him his due. He's apologised, and he's put, sometimes I don't get things right, and I'm not afraid to say so. When asked the question on the BBC by Laura Kay about mental health overdiagnosis, my answer was poor, and our evidence base on mental health, autism and ADHD is too. We'll put this right. And okay, fair enough to you, that it's not what it could be. What I was concerned about is that he was about to run a very expensive inquiry instead of just taking basic training, which would have gave him the answers that he's looking for. The reason there's more people being diagnosed with it is the same reason we see more stars now that we have telescopes. And when you're looking for something, you'll find more people that have it. You'll come across more people who didn't know they had it. Because why would you know? What's your frame of reference? What was the before and after? If you've got ADHD, autism, dyslexia, did it suddenly hit you one day? No, you were born like that. You wouldn't know. You know what I mean? And initially I was coming on here to rip his soul in two until I seen that he's apologised. So fair enough to him. What else can I expect here? But at the same time, I do sympathise with his pickle here because the health sector is getting absolutely battered, and it's being caused by housing law directly breaking family law. So the current predicament I'm in is that I was able to secure legal 50-50, a lives with order, so there's no primary caregiver in our family, but only one is allowed housing to facilitate children's needs, despite that going against sections 1, 3, in my case 8 and 11 of the Children Act. So because of the predicament that puts agencies such as social services in, and it obstructs family court proceedings, it basically means there's no complete process to endorse both parents and promote children's well-being. And where a complete process would look like a capital O or an uppercase O, it's currently a lowercase u, where there's an entire sector missing, and that sector would support secondary caregivers to help them stay within the law when it comes to their children. But the approach at the moment is that the solution's always down there somewhere. It's never speak to that person, fill in that form, and there's the solution. It's down there somewhere. ask directions when you get there. And the effect this has is it's like an air bubble in a bottle, where it's pushing everything all liquid to the sides and putting pressure on it. And it's just a big void that everything else is feeling the pressure off but not acknowledging. So normally in families post-separation, that will then lead to the father being driven off the table. It's not directly dad's it's aimed at, it's the secondary caregiver. But when, as I've touched on in the channel before, dads will normally do the honourable thing post-separation, leave the kids' mum with everything that they've worked for, sacrificed for, saved for, and the benefits to make sure they're not going without, because that's our responsibility as men. The thing is, though, is that social services are then telling people they need to be claiming benefits in order to have their children's needs recognised on their housing applications, which is grossly illegal. Because basically, if the needs of the child are paramount, that's paramount to the rulings when it comes to housing legislation. So I am actually going to challenge this, because the current predicament I'm in is that I can either follow family law, I can either follow the Children Act or housing legislation, but I can't do both. So if I follow housing legislation, I have to make me and my children intentionally overcrowded, which would trigger the Section 17, which would lead to me losing my children through child neglect, basically. Or I can disregard housing law, keep me children, but then I'm penalised for that. So that's basically where this pressure's coming from, because during that, you sense, like, everyone is being sent to their GP to address their mental health, to mourn living children, rather than allow both parents to follow the law and follow the PR, fulfill the PR. It's a legal responsibility. PR doesn't mean rights. So anything that's your legal responsibility is part of your circumstances. And so because that's being overlooked, every single family only get given one option. All the mums are given the same advice, all the dads are given the same advice, and neither are having that couple's arguments. They're having an argument that was preordained, basically. So challenging that would then logically lead to more people being helped in early triage and less people hammered in the health sector. So, I can't sympathise with him on this. He's just gone the wrong way about it and very nearly pulled a Donald Trump on the country, whereas many of you remember Trump went on dished out a massive hate speech against autists and their parents. And he was basically just trying to invalidate it to save money, because he's too stupid to realise if he stops delivering neurodiversity support, it'll cause increased mental health needs. Now, the reason this is so damaging, though, is because of society, where basically it'd be alright a builder not having a fucking clue, or someone down the pub catching the headline and thinking that they're experts. And society does kind of do a thing where it goes, oh, look, I'm doing it. Look, he's not, is he? Look at me, I'm a hero. And then he's basically good at one thing and talk shit about everything else. Without exception, you all do it. So, really looking at housing policy instead of neurodiversity would solve Wes Streeting's issue here. But mate, I'll take my ass off to you for apologising. It makes you better than the majority of the world.